Hi, I'm Angie Viehman, and welcome to Totally Clutch. This is the podcast for women like you to find ways to simplify your business and personal life. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. All right, welcome back to another episode of Totally Clutch. Today, we're going to be talking about how your energy impacts your business. So we have a bioenergetics expert with us today, Aleya Harris, and she's going to talk about, or she's going to help us understand what bioenergetics are. So I'm no expert, but just on the surface, it's the detection, the correction, and the study of energy. And she says that the magic really happens when you take that and you apply it to business, which is super exciting. So we're going to look at how your energy affects your business's energy and give you strategies to get both of those things on track with Aleya. So with that, I want to welcome Aleya to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I am thrilled to be here.
Awesome. Okay, well, do you want to give us just some background about you and your business and the work that you do?
Sure thing. So I'm the owner of Flourish Marketing, and we help empire building entrepreneurs flourish in business and in life. We do that through three things. We have strategy, story brand, framework copywriting, and bioenergetic business coaching so that you don't have to feel lost and tired and confused. And instead, you can turn your talent into treasure and end up really loving your life as an entrepreneur. My story, did you want me to go into a little bit of my story?
Yeah, I mean, we love it. It's super interesting. I think everybody would love to hear it.
Just really quickly, because then we can get into like the real meat and potatoes of what we're doing here. Really quickly, I've been a marketer for over 13 years. And I started out in the fashion and cosmetic industries, actually. And from there, I ended up in the culinary industry once I got laid off for the first time. And I was so glad that that happened because I went to culinary school, was there at Le Cordon Bleu for 2 years, and started a catering and private chef company. I then worked my little Watusi off and ended up being a private chef for celebrities and traveling all over the world. And it was great. But then I had the realization that I can't build my empire if I'm sitting in the middle of somebody else's. So I figured out like, okay, how do I make this transition? I wasn't quite ready then to own a marketing agency. I don't even think that was on my brain. I just wanted to combine my 2 degrees, my degree from USC and my culinary degree, and make it all work together on my growth journey.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then from there, I ended up working at Google as a Google vendor partner on their food team. So I got to do the food part, and we were talking about like behavioral economics and sustainability and all of that good stuff. And then I rose through the ranks of my parent company to become the head of marketing for North America. And when I got there, I loved the paycheck. Like, don't get me wrong, it was lovely. However, I was not doing any like real heart-centered work anymore like I was when I was cooking for people or talking about like food issues and security across the world. And then I started Flourish because I wanted to get back into that heart-centered work. I needed to get back more into alignment with who I was and what I wanted to do in the world. And I can, you get feedback from the universe like, are you in alignment? Are you doing, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Can I get like a yay or nay? Somebody, anybody. And then when you look around and you see clients, or you feel better, or you feel more confident, or you look at pictures from you now than from you then, and you're like, oh, I look so much better. That's how you know you're on the right track. And I'm definitely more on the right track now as with Flourish. I get to work with amazing people and live inside of what makes me me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, your background is so fascinating. It's so interesting. It's so exciting. And you can tell, I mean, I guess, we all kind of struggle with like, does our story make sense? Like
Right.
anybody else, but it all comes together, right? Like all of those experiences that you had made what you are today and made it make sense, I think.
Absolutely. And it's so funny, like we always try to judge the story before the chapter's even over. Like you've
Yeah.
read a really good book, right? And I'm totally into stories. I'm a story brand certified guide. So stories are my jam. And I'm like, well, but what's going to happen to Sally? No, she didn't. Like that's a really good
Totally.
story, right? So how do you know that that's not what's about to happen as just on that other page turn, right? Never
Yeah.
did I think I would be like, yeah, first of all, I never thought I would be a chef, or I didn't even know really how to cook or really cook for myself until I was in college. It's not like I have one of those stories like, oh, I grew up with a saucepan in one hand and like a clove of garlic in the other. Like, no, I was super spoiled. My grandmother was a great cook. My mom's a great cook. I didn't really feel the need to get in the kitchen because I was always well fed. There was no problem to solve for me there. And I went from that to, combining in marketing and figuring out who I was and who I am now. And my story's still not over.
Right.
So about your story making sense, you kind of have to leave that alone for a little bit, because makes sense to who? It definitely doesn't make sense to you when you're in it.
Yeah.
You just will be able to understand a chapter at a time and be like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get why that happened to me 10 years ago. It needed to happen so that this could happen to me today. Sometimes you
Totally.
not know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And then I guess, so let's dive into the work that you're doing now. So will
Absolutely.
you paint us a picture of who of the entrepreneurs that you work with? Like, what do they look like when they come in, when they slide in the door first day? And what does life look like for them afterwards?
Yeah.
Actually, let's start with just, what does life look like first?
Usually they come in confused and overwhelmed and out of alignment. And they can't even necessarily put words to that. They don't even necessarily know those words. They might use words like, I'm so tired. Or they might use words like, I don't know what to do. I have all this stuff going on. I'm all over the place. I don't know my direction. I don't know what I want to do next. And they're like, I have all these pieces, but I just can't seem to get it together. And I've tried the gurus and the podcasts and the books and the this and the that, and I just can't seem to figure out what's wrong with me. That's usually the first state. And I get them and I say, first of all, nothing's wrong with you. There's a lot of judgment there. Let's take the judgment off and just see why you're not able to manifest what's inside of you on the outside. And a lot of the times that deals with energy blocks and the information that you've intaken, whether you've heard it, you've seen it, you've felt it, you've been surrounded by it. It's caused the information with inside of your body and your own energy field to be off. And when you're off center, you can't make as good of decisions. You have brain fog. You're not able to plan strategically. Someone says, well, what is your plan for the 3, the 6 month, the 1 year? And you're like, whoa, I have no idea. I'm just trying to survive this week. That means that something is off. If your vision is blurred and you're confused, not only are you not going to be able to move forward, but your clients aren't going to be able to move forward because you're not going to be able to tell them what the plan is. And that's your job, is to guide your clients, whether you're B2B, business to business, or B2C, business to consumer. That's your job, is to outline for them how they're going to get to their happy ending. But you can't do that if you're not on the journey to yours. It's funny because I started bioenergetic business coaching because I was a spiritual coach on the side. And I was like, I don't want to do anything on the side. I just want to be myself all the time. It was draining my energy to compartmentalize. And I looked around and I said, oh, it's draining a lot of people. They're compartmentalizing themselves. So I brought it all together with bioenergetic business coaching. And I knew that there was a need when people would come to me and say, hey, Aleya and team, we need a email sequence. I'm like, all right, cool. So what do you need an email sequence about? And he would say, well, I don't know. I'm confused. We don't really know our direction, or we don't really want, we just need to make more money. We just need more clients. So just like email them. And I'm like, okay, well, we could create this email sequence for you, but I can guarantee you that it will not solve all your problems. And in 3 months from now, you're going to need a whole nother email sequence because your whole direction will have changed because you're all over the place. So instead, let's get your energy aligned. Let's map out the root cause of your issues so that we can move forward. And often people say, well, I know my root cause of my issue, that I can't come up with my one-liners because my throat chakra is blocked. Well, maybe, and maybe yes, Maybe no. It's not always so easy and straightforward like that. When someone comes in for a bioenergetic business coaching session, the first thing that we do is we do a bioenergetic business coaching scan. And if you're wanting to see a video of what that looks like, you can go to flourishmarketing.co/coaching, and there's a video of a scan on there. But it reads your body field, the energy that is around and interpenetrates all of your organs and your physical body, and helps provide information to your body for how to function, your emotions, your mindset, all of it. And it reads where it's off. And it's usually surprising, but also like, oh yeah, she sees me. In the discussion that I then have with you, in that very first time with most clients, it's like, oh, okay, well, so talk to me about your gender identity, because that actually is you are not being honest with yourself, and you're not your whole self all the time, which is why you're making scattered decisions. Talk to me about that recent trauma that you've had from your divorce, because you think that you're over it and you're clearly not, because your scans says you're not, and then the way that it's showing up in your life is that you're not. So some of those connections that you've compartmentalized in your personal life show up in your business life, and not only do they block your glow, but they block your cash flow at the same time. And our goal is to get everything together, give you the tools to assess the root cause of that grief, that blame, that shame, that judgment, the denial that are blocking you from moving forward into greater abundance.
That's amazing. That's so great. So their business is struggling, and they're struggling, right? Like they're just not feeling it.
Not feeling it. They're not able to feel it sometimes too, which is even worse, right? They're sitting there like, I'm just numb. I'm just exhausted and numb, and I just want to take a nap. And then they take the nap and they're like, I'm still exhausted and numb, right? Because it's a deeper sense of tiredness than that. Naps are great. I'm a nap queen, but sometimes you need a little bit more than just a nap.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I love this quote. I mean, for anybody listening, watching, please go and visit this website, flourishmarketing.co, because it's incredible.
Thank you.
I just love the way that you talk about what you do. And I especially love, so you say, if you could strong arm your way into an abundance mindset, you would have done it already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we could do it for ourselves, if we had all of the answers, if we knew it, we'd already be doing it. Mm-hmm. So I know that you've talked a little bit about this, but I guess I want to ask specifically, what is it that holds most entrepreneurs back from an abundance mindset?
Often it's not even the mindset that is what you're being held back from. So let me take a step back. Yeah. Often what happens is you've told yourself an erroneous story. And so that then affects your mindset, but you have to fix why you told yourself that story in the first place. Like we take it like an even further step inward into you. And usually that involves judgment and a feeling of unworthiness. So it's like we can peel back the layers, but let me save you some time.
Yeah. I don't know anything about what you're talking about. This doesn't sound
doesn't sound like anybody. Doesn't sound like, doesn't sound like me. Definitely doesn't sound like me. So we judge ourselves so harshly. We judge other people as well. So like, and even the most pious person is super judgy, especially of themselves. And then we build up this sense of resentment and self-worth issues because, oh, why did you do that? Or you did this, or you're not good, or that wasn't good. That was your best, but it could have been better. All of that is unnecessary judgment that causes guilt, shame, and blame, and makes you feel like you are then not able to move forward from that spot and you're not worthy. Often as well, judgment and unworthiness are like this like horrible dynamic duo, and it's often hard to tell which came first. Unworthiness could come from your parents. Like for me, I grew up with my mom as a single mom. I knew my dad, saw him every summer, I had the weekends thing, but it still had this sense of unworthiness. Why wasn't he there? Why didn't he love me like I wanted? Why didn't I? And that man sticks. Yeah. Deep down. So you're like, well, how the heck are my childhood issues affecting me as an adult? Trust me, they're affecting everybody as an adult. All of those childhood traumas go unresolved for an extended period of time. And then they shape who you are and how you enter into the world, how you enter into negotiations. Well, am I always taking the short end of the stick in a negotiation because I don't feel like I'm worthy of it anyways? And am I always lowering my prices because I don't think that I can command a higher price because I'm not worthy of those prices? And why don't I just judge myself? Well, I'm mad at that last project that I did wasn't that great anyways, so I probably shouldn't add on that extra 15% that I deserve, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it isn't so much the mindset as the core problem. You have to go deeper than that. Like I said, if it was a mindset, I would like, here, repeat this over 50 times and you're fixed, right? That's like, because if it's in your mind, if it's just in your head, that's how you fix things. You learn things like by memorization, by rote. That's what you do in school. You memorize it, you take the test, you move on. Right? How you view the world, you change the information that you put into your brain, which is important. And yes, you should do that, but without addressing, and I call excavating, some of the past things that are truly driving that mindset, it doesn't matter how much you try to fix it, it will continue to be fueled by the deeper root causes of that mindset.
Yeah. That's okay. Thank you for that. It's so interesting. I was joking like this. Oh, this doesn't resonate with me at all. Right. Like, of course it's like hitting every button. And I remember like years ago, I don't even remember when the book came out, but and it's so funny. It's such a silly book, but it still brings me so much joy to read it every once in a while.
Well,
but I read, So You Think You're a Badass. The book, Jen Sincero.
Oh, I don't think I've read that one.
It's so funny. I mean, she's hilarious, but it also like for the first time, she was like, you deserve this. Like here, you deserve a magical life. Here's, or maybe not magical, but like the life that
absolutely
fits you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And basically the book is giving you permission to do that, right? We have these hopes and dreams that some of us are so uncomfortable even saying out loud. And she was like, say them out loud and make that shit happen. Yeah. And for the first time ever, I was like, oh, like we can do that? Like, yeah. I can do that. And so there was a moment of like awareness that I got from that book. And then there were, years and years of sorting out like, okay, so how do I get comfortable doing that? Yeah.
You're like, okay, now I'm aware of it. Now what?
Right. And it's amazing. I think this work is so important. And I just think, I'm excited that you're doing it. I'm excited that we're talking about it. And it's super, super important and will really change lives.
I sure hope so. So far, my clients have their lives changed dramatically really quickly. It's like I have this one client who started off like, she's like, I haven't created new content for my business in 6 months. And as a marketer, I'm like, what do you mean? And then we started working together, and within the first couple of weeks, she created a couple months worth of content in about a week and a half. That's so awesome. It really does work to shift. We use, different modalities like infoceuticals, which are charged water. We use a My Health device, which is painless energy acupuncture, no needles, thank God. So there's different ways. And plus we chalk it out, and I have a plan that I move folks through so they can actually feel victorious in their life. And it's funny that you were talking about not needing permission. Literally on the page for coaching, I have the words in bold: you don't need to ask for permission to be happy. Yeah, because so many women feel like who are you waiting for to give you this permission? Yeah. Right. The world is definitely not going to do it. And in fact, when you do give yourself permission to be happy, be prepared for the backlash. People be like, oh, you've changed. Mm-hmm. Oh, we don't like that. First of all, if you're happier and you've changed and they're having an issue with it, they don't need to be in your life anymore. Right. Second of all, you need to be your own compass, right? Again, look at the feedback from the universe. If you're happier and lighter and making more money and you're losing weight and your skin looks better, your hair's grown, you got pep in your stuff, you're doing the right thing. Right. Whoever is saying, why are you changing? Why are you doing this? Let them go. They are not the right thing.
Yeah. They're going to be the last thing on your mind when you're in that place. Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow. Okay, awesome. So walk us through, I guess, or can you walk us through the three phases of the
Sure.
work that you do?
Sure. And I say it differently, but phase one really is, and we map this onto Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, where you're starting in your ordinary world, then you go into this extraordinary world full of trials and tribulations and growth, and then you come back on the other side, back into your normal world, better prepared as a new person and a new being. But in order to do that, we start off with alignment, and that's phase one. So that's when we do that bioenergetic coaching scan. We set you up with the proper infoceuticals. The infoceuticals, again, are charged water. So based on your scan makes a recommendation as to where your body field, your energy field needs to support most in that moment. And then the infoceuticals help address those key points. And then we use a My Health device that also helps address those key points as another layer on. So then we map where are you inside of that hero's journey. It actually comes up as part of your scan. And we use that for the next 4 weeks. Each scan is robust. It has a lot of information. So we use that scan to help guide us for an entire month period. And then we rescan every month. So then while we have that going, we're getting you back into alignment, which can happen rather quickly. Then we start to begin to move into that second phase, which is the manifestation phase. That's a phase where we're going through the trials and the tribulations and we're doing the work. As things are being corrected in your body and your energy field, then we're looking to see how does that overlay into your business. You were blocked here. Now, what has that meant for your marketing messaging, for your business structure, for the way you've set up your contracts, for the way that you have your processes set up? Are you supporting yourself? Have you created a job instead of a business? Where are you at, and where have you been blocked up until this point that we can help unlock for you? And we do everything from developing your story brand messaging framework to guiding you through copywriting, to building your sales funnel if you don't have one already, to working through with your systems and your structure and your people training. All of that happens in the middle in that manifestation phase as you're continuing to heal and align and realign from phase one. Then we move into phase three, which is the evolution phase. It's kind of like a teach a person to fish situation where, yeah, we've done the work, and by the time that you're moving into phase three, you are leaps and bounds ahead of where you were when you got started. You have more energy, you're making more money, you're feeling more confident, and you're feeling like you can really take control of your business. But up until this point, you've really been the hero of your story, and the hero is the weakest character. And our goal is to turn you then in phase two into the guide, where then you're guiding yourself and into your business. And then in phase three here, when we're going into evolution, you're becoming that story architect. You are the one who is deciding what your future looks like, and you're consciously and intentionally building what that looks like. But it means that you need to put guardrails and boundaries and systems in place to navigate your own energy so that you can grow and maintain that sense of energized vitality instead of backsliding and going all the way back. The goal here is not to have you hooked onto a system forever and ever and ever. The goal is for you to actually improve and grow and evolve into the best and highest version of yourself, who is more than capable of handling whatever is happening next on your hero's journey. So those are the three phases of bioenergetic business coaching.
Great. So is this something that becomes self-sustaining, or is it something that would be helpful to kind of do this work with you every, once a year or once every couple of years as kind of a refresh? Or do you kind of set people on a path to just be able to do this on their own from that point forward?
It really depends on the person. So I'm a very big believer, and I've learned this from one of my spiritual teachers named John Roger, that you don't want to get attached to the tool. So the tool is not the end goal. The end goal is the end goal. Higher, evolution of your spirit, of yourself, of your business, leaving that legacy, whatever your ultimate goals are. So it's very easy to get stuck in, oh, I do bioenergetic coaching, business coaching, and I'm going to do that for the rest of my life because that's how I stay together. And it very well could be. Like, I'm perfectly fine with helping people for extended periods of time. However, I'm not really doing my job if you then can't at least take partially the reins of your own business. So after working with me for 6 months, then we reassess. Do we need to keep working? Are you making such great progress that we really want to kind of re-up? Let's do another 3-month or another 6-month. Or is it like, let's touch base in 3 months and see how you are doing? And if you feel confident and confident in leading that charge for yourself, because even people even get like attached to meditation. Oh, I have to meditate this way. Otherwise, I'm not spiritual. I'm like, spoiler alert, you're spiritual regardless of what you do. So, because you're like this whole spirit having this human experience situation. So, doesn't really matter if you meditate sitting on your butt on the concrete, which I don't do because it hurts. And so I don't do it that way. You can meditate standing up. You can meditate having a walking meditation. You can do all of them. The goal is not that I'm a meditator. The goal is, well, then is it helping you in your spiritual journey and in your business journey in the case of bioenergetic business coaching? So it's yes and no and all and maybe as an answer to your question.
Yeah.
It's whatever works for that individual situation.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so now I have to ask, we're running out of time, but I want to know, why don't more people know about this? Or am I the only one? I feel like
I
it's
wish
so
you were the only
powerful.
one. No, it's brand new. That's why a lot
Okay.
of people don't know about it. So I'm a Nest certified health practitioner, but I'm the only, there's 5,000 of us. I'm the only one who does it and applies it to business. Often they are acupuncturists and Reiki energy healers and regular doctors, even pediatricians. They apply it to their practice using their other modalities. But I saw a huge need to stop talking about just fix your mindset, because I was annoyed by that, to no, really, come on, girl, let's really fix you.
Yeah.
and help you make some money. So it is brand new. It just launched this year. And we are still accepting clients and spots. There's still spots available. It won't be like that for forever. The goal is to evolve it into a certification program and group coaching and all of that lovely stuff. But for now, because it's brand new, just trying to get the word out.
That's great. Yeah. And so I've got your website up on the screen for anybody that's watching. For anybody that's listening, you can visit Flourish. So it's FLOURISH marketing.co and
Not
find out
.com,
more.
.co.
It is .com? Okay,
No,
shoot.
it's
Okay.
.co. No, it is .co,
Oh,
not .com. Because people, it doesn't matter what you say. They're like, oh, she must be pronouncing that wrong.
right.
It must be a silent M. And then they go to .com and I'm like, that's not me.
Uh-huh. Not me. Okay. Awesome. Good clarification. Yeah. So, and then is there anything that people should be looking for specifically on the site if they're curious about working with you and finding out more about what you do?
Absolutely. So there's a big, huge buttons all over the site. They're green. They say schedule a call. That's the main thing. Like, if you want to talk about how we can help you, go ahead and click that button to schedule a call. There's also, if you look at the top navigation, a resources section that's full of a bunch of free stuff, articles, downloads, videos, guides, quizzes. In the resource section. If you're also interested in bioenergetic business coaching, you can go to flourishmarketing.co/coaching. Or if you're just on flourishmarketing.co, in the services drop down, you'll see it there, bioenergetic business coaching.
Awesome. Great. Aleya, thank you so much. This was incredible. I hope it rocked everybody's world and will continue to do that. I am so grateful to have had the chance to talk with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with all of your friends. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you're leaving with some great things that can help you move from hustle to flow, because I believe in you and your business. Until next time.